Hello, friends. This week, a member of our community, Jamie Himes, was ordained as a rabbi through the Academy of Jewish Religion, California. There was a lovely ordination ceremony online on Memorial Day, and there was a gathering at the Chaim's home in San Ramon later that afternoon. We say Mazal Tov to Jamie on the completion of her studies and are honored that she is a member of our community. Jamie has been serving a Reconstructionist Renewal congregation in Las Vegas, Congregation B'nai Tikva, as a student rabbi for the past few years and will continue to serve that community as their rabbi. June is Pride Month, a time when LGBTQ plus people can stand up and claim their identities. I look forward to the day when there doesn't have to be a Pride Month, when people of all genders and sexual choices are so fully accepted that there's no need to do anything special to draw attention to the efforts to achieve this equality. You know, many years ago, I attended a weekend intensive at the Graduate Theological Union. The weekend was about the dynamics of conducting funerals and weddings. As the only Jew present, I was asked to speak about my own tradition quite a lot during the seminar. After the weekend, I received a call from a person who identified himself as Seamus and said that he had been a participant in the class. He wanted to know if I would talk to him and his partner, Louis, about possibly officiating at their wedding. Seamus said that he was a seminary student at Star King, the Unitarian Seminary, and that his partner was Jewish, and that they were making a Jewish home together and wanted a rabbi to marry them. They each had a child and were ready to marry. After congratulating him on this most powerful decision, I agreed to meet with them. They invited me to their apartment in Berkeley because they wanted me to meet their children as well. I assumed that Seamus and Louis were a gay couple and that they wanted a commitment ceremony, though Seamus had quite specifically said that he and Louis wanted to marry. At the time, this was not possible in the state of California. I met their beautiful children, a sweet little girl about 7 and a striking boy who appeared to be about 9. They were clearly very close, and there was an intimacy and a warmth between the parents and the children that was very moving. I was invited to witness their gentle and loving bedtime ritual, and after they put the kids to bed, we sat down to talk. They said they wanted to begin with a complete transparency and full disclosure. They told me that each of them had been born a woman, and that each had birthed a child, the children I had just met. They were both transgender, although Seamus had completed the gender change while Louis was still in the process. They were deeply in love, had already made a lovely home together, and were both profoundly spiritual people. While Seamus was committed to becoming a Unitarian minister, he missed ritual, and he was fully supportive of having a Jewish home and loved celebrating Shabbat with Louis and the children. Never having been in this situation before, I had many questions, which they answered patiently and thoughtfully. They informed me that because the state of California recognized Seamus to be male and would continue to recognize Louis to be a female until his gender change process was completed, that the state would permit them to marry legally. Through a quirk of timing, they would be granted the rights that were denied to so many in the LGBT community at that time. I explained to them that according to the Jewish tradition, a Jewish wedding was a wedding between two Jewish people. Most of what occurs in a Jewish wedding is custom, not law, but there are several blessings and formulaic commitments that have Jewish legal standing and would not be appropriate for this interfaith wedding. They both understood this and would be happy to have me officiate, accessing many of the customs of Jewish wedding. The wedding took place in a beautiful church on the patio, outdoor patio of a church in the Berkeley Hills, and with a breathtaking view of the bay. I was familiar with the site since this church had offered its sanctuary for the Jewish High Holy Days to a local synagogue community that didn't have a building of its own. In addition to family, a large gathering of the transgender community came to their wedding. It was an amazing, joy-filled, unforgettable wedding. The highlight was the moment before I pronounced them man and wife in the eyes of the state of California, when they read a piece they'd written together in which they spoke of the irony that although they had both found their truest identities as males, since one of them had not yet completed the process, the state of California allowed them to lawfully marry. They spoke of the pain they shared with so many of their friends who were partnered, some for many years, who were bringing so much love and caring into the world, in many cases raising loved and cared for children, but were not permitted to marry according to the law or enjoy the rights of married people. One of Lewis's close relatives was a leader in the Jewish community. Lewis had not been certain if the person was even going to attend the wedding. Afterwards, this person came up to me all teared up and told me that it was the most beautiful wedding they had ever attended. We live in a blessed time when people can claim who they are and who they love. Sadly, there are so many who are frightened by relationships they don't understand or recognize, and are blinded by narrow and oppressive concepts of family and constricted understandings of love. This amazing wedding was a celebration of love and the wonder of relationships that matter and can help heal our world. May we be good allies for all those who are in need of support for being who they really are and be seen and loved as such. Take care. Stay safe and be well. Shalom uvracha. Peace and blessings.